All right, y'all. I'm not gonna lie, I'm tired. My stomach hurts. I only got 4 hours of sleep. And I'm just struggling right now today, bro. I really want to get this episode out for you guys. I really do. And I know it'll go out. It's just one of those days, you know? You ever have one of those days where it's not low-key like everything's going wrong, but the stuff that's going wrong does matter? Like, in order for everything to go the way it needs to go properly, the one or two things that you need to go right didn't go right, so then it just throws off everything. That's how I feel today, man. That's how I feel. I feel tired. I want to say defeated, but just more so tired. Annoyed. It's annoying. Honestly, what was the thing that even caused that? And I was recording an episode for this podcast, the Prime Feeling podcast. When I tell you, I can't even get a thought together right now. Man. For a minute now, like, I've been wanting to just remain consistent in what I'm doing as far as like the podcast and my weekly output when it comes to KINGxKISHI. And I wasn't pissed about the last episode. Like, I don't think y'all think I'd be pissed about that, but still, like, it's like I'm experiencing these like technical difficulties, and it's like I feel like I already did the troubleshooting for this issue already. What is going on here? It's like I'm having issues with the mic. I think it sounds better now, though. Low-key. I hope it does. It's like I'm tired. When I tell you, like, I've set up like this for both videos, but I'm like, I'm tired, bro. Like, what? Anyways, I'm not here to complain and stuff. I'm just talking about my experiences like I always do, right? Sometimes you just gotta take the L. I could have avoided the L low key, but it still would have been an L. I still would have taken a loss. I would have taken a loss. Making up words. Tooken. Tunchi. Anyways. Yeah. Today's episode is about loss. And really more so just learning from loss. I've had this conversation twice already. Like, I know you guys don't care about that because you guys don't know. You don't know. And it's like, I don't blame you either. But honestly, learning from losses is what I'm going through right now. Honestly. When I tell you I'm tired, I'm kind of on a time constraint right now recording this episode. And I recorded 2 other episodes already for the same episode. And when I tell you, let me stay in place here too, because my mic is low-key sensitive. I might need to adjust the settings next time, but with how it is right now, it'll do. And it's like I've had 2, believe it or not, in both of those recordings, it's like 2 different conversations. But in all honesty, I'm gonna stick to what I said I'm going to be doing, which is learning as I go. Learning from your loss is learning as you go, honestly. And getting comfortable with learning why you lost, or even how you react to a loss. When I was younger, I used to really it used to affect me internally, emotionally, when I would lose something. I wasn't necessarily the expressive type, but it was one of those, like, when you lose, it just eats at you sort of thing, you know? Like, it just eats at you. It eats at you. And although I've never had nothing too big, it's still like how I would respond to those losses. I'd get anxious about even, we don't even have to go as far back as like childhood or high school. We could even just talk about my experience doing YouTube, my experience having the KINGxKISHI YouTube channel, and how that whole thing has been. I've had times in the past where I've had to re-record a reaction. And it's so weird because when you have a job and in your mind you're like, okay, I'm doing my usual stuff that I do and I'm doing the work that I'm always supposed to do every week, and something that's just so like, you don't really run into any issues doing just normal things that you do. And then the most normal thing that you do, you messed up, you know? And you react, you get mad. If you're like me, like I've said in the previous episode, I used to get really down on myself. When I messed up. Because like I said, I used to have this perspective of super accountability and I need to be hard on myself. But low-key, those emotions, learning to react to things emotionally, can impact your learning experience low-key. Sometimes it's easier to, I don't want to say there is no emotion when you win something. Like, it feels good to win. It doesn't always feel great to lose. But you know what feels good? When you lose, but you learn something. And honestly, when it comes to this journey that I'm on, when it comes to my YouTube channel, I've learned a lot and I'm still learning. And I honestly appreciate the fact that I've learned so much and learned to get more comfortable with how I do things on this channel and how I approach just everything. Honestly, I'm grateful for it, because on one hand, I'd say between those two recordings for this episode, that first recording was like, okay, cool, I can put this out. Listen to it. Audio didn't sound good. Okay, we'll re-record this one more time. Second recording. Okay, we're talking about some other stuff, because I can't talk about the same thing again. I can't do that. I can't. Like, I can, but then it starts to feel like it feels like a disingenuine conversation. It feels like a fake conversation, honestly, or a fake discussion about something, you know? And now we're having this third attempt, and same thing. And I think that's what learning from loss looks like. Super low level, but in my experience, that's what it looks like. You can't get emotional about this stuff. Is it annoying? Of course. But sometimes our emotions might have more power over us than we think sometimes. Our emotions, especially my emotions. And what I've been learning is that you have to, in a way, find a nice middle area where it's like you can kind of remove yourself from your loss. You know, you could have had a job interview, and no, I'm not lit. I'm not lit. I'm just tired. Y'all. I'm just tired. Because I know I might sound like I'm slurring my words here and there. I promise you, it's just like I'm at that level of tired where it's like some of my words might draw a little bit. They might drag a little bit. And I might lose my train of thought for a moment too. I'm like, I feel like y'all would feel like when you do hear this episode, I feel like you guys would say, get your rest, get fully rested and record. But it's like, nah, I got to get this episode out. And I lost my train of thought again. But yeah, let's just focus on learning as you go. Back to that, right? And so I have just this approach now. I think what I was talking about was like emotions, like how your emotions can get tied to your losses. I have this approach now where I acknowledge, hey, this made me feel a way, but it is what it is. You move on. You could have had a job interview for the job you really, really wanted, or it just makes so much sense for you to be in this position. There's no way you're not going to get this job. But then you don't get the job. You might be up for a promotion. Similar thing. You're qualified for this promotion. You know you are. There's no way you're not getting that promotion. You get passed up on. Say you're like me. You got a video planned out to post, or you're planning on streaming. If you're like me, your views might not be crazy like that. Yeah, not yet. We'll get there one day. Or you could be like a Kai Sanat, and you getting crazy views, crazy streams, crazy streaming views, all that stuff. Crazy. Crazy is a compliment. Take that. That's a compliment. That's a compliment right there. And maybe you just have one stream where you're getting views like that, but then you have one where shit just dips. And maybe you're just starting to see like a downwards trend in viewers and all that type of stuff, which happens. That does happen. It does happen. And I think all you can do when that happens, learn as you go. Detach yourself from, even though the amount of viewers, I'm not saying that don't matter. I'm not saying that doesn't matter. If I was getting 1 million views per video, and I got 1 million people watching me when I'm streaming, and all of a sudden I got 500k views, which is not bad at all. But then eventually it's like I'm just getting 10% of that 1 million views. I'm getting like 100k views. What's going on here? You know? And it might feel discouraging, like, dang, what's going on? Like, I'm used to getting all these views and being compensated for what I can do. Just to stay focused before I start going all over the place. But you just learn as you go. If I have a stream, I've noticed sometimes my first streams of a new game, I always get a lot of views. I've noticed that trend. Like a lot of views for my channel though. For my channel. A channel where I have 65 subscribers last time I checked, and we're still growing. So that's all I really care about right now. And yeah, like when I think about it, it's like you just gotta learn as you go. How you respond to that. You can't, because sometimes too, the emotions will get you messed up. Dropping from 1 million views to 500,000 views, it's like, dang, But at the same time, too, it's still 500,000 views, you know? Now dropping from 1 million to 100K views, it's like, damn, that's crazy. But you kind of have to detach yourself, though. You got to detach yourself from this stuff. Even me recording this podcast, as much as I've been enjoying this experience, having my podcast and all that I'm doing, it's just, you got to be resilient. You got to keep going. You got to keep going. You have to keep going. You can't stop. You might have found that job that's just right for you. That's just right for you. But that employer wasn't messing with you. He didn't want you. They didn't want you. Doesn't mean they might not want you in the future, but you got to move on and keep it going. You know? It's low-key like going on a date. Like, you can go on a date with someone and they just feel like they're the right person. Like, they check all the boxes pretty much. It doesn't not make sense for y'all to be together, but you might not get that second date. And as much as I know when it comes to dating, they get emotional because you're dealing with people. You're dealing with people. But even something like that, you gotta emotionally detach yourself a bit. I'm not saying don't care about what you're doing or nothing like that, but you have to detach yourself from these things sometimes. You have to detach yourself from these things so they don't have too much power over you. Acknowledge that, yeah, you do care about getting a lot of views. Yeah, you do care about getting that promotion. Yeah, you do care about getting that new job. You do care about those things. But keep looking for that. You'll get it. You'll get it. If you already got that one interview, you'll get another interview. And if you already did really good on that interview, that last interview, still learn from that interview. Learn from that interview. Be better. You did good, now do better. And then when better's not good enough, you get what I'm getting at, right? I'm not trying to be negative about like whether you get a job or not, but it is really, the moral of it is just keep learning, keep learning, keep learning. Because honestly, the days we have left on this earth, and I'm not even getting political, like climate change, none of that. I'm not talking about none of that. But just in general, we're human beings. We're only going to be on this earth for so long. You know, we weren't meant to live for an eternity or anything like that, or immortals. We're not immortals. We're mortals. You know, that's all you can do. We're not Goku. We're not Sasuke. We're not like these anime characters. We're not Luffy. Like, we're our own person. We're human beings. We're human beings. There's no devil fruit. There's no Dragon Balls. There's no chakra. There's no Sharingan that's gonna, you know. But there's still so much to learn in this life. There's a lot to learn in this life. There's a lot of stuff to learn, but it's definitely important to learn from your losses. It builds character. It builds character for sure. And in all honesty, if you're someone like me that's currently going through like that phase of just how I'm responding to things now, I feel a lot better. Things are not perfect at all. I'm not trying to make it seem like either. I'm not trying to make it seem like that either. Like things are perfect. But that resilience is important. Keep learning. Keep learning. And it'll be okay. For real. It'll be okay. It'll be okay. As far as like having just an early conversation about learning from loss, I hope that this is something that could be a good conversation starter for sure. And in all honesty, relatable, because man, when I tell you guys, I probably would have just been like, I'm gonna just post a podcast episode next week. If this was 2 years ago, because that's how I used to approach things. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I know I did for the most part. I'm just glad to have it done. I'm going to be so pissed if the sound isn't right. I might have to start recording with my headphones, listening to the audio as I'm recording, which I've seen some podcasters do. Didn't understand it. I think it's just so weird hearing yourself talk while you're talking. It's trippy, honestly, low key too. But again, learning from your losses. For people that record and essentially you're recording, you're either having someone edit your video or your podcast, or you're doing it yourself and you're going back and listening to it and you hear, okay, why does the mic sound off here? If I had my headphones in, it's like eventually you're going to have a certain amount of losses with something in particular that eventually you're going to learn. You're going to learn. It doesn't mean it's the end of the world. It doesn't mean it's the end of the world. I'm not even trying to get into extremes like that. But definitely, I hope you guys got to enjoy this early discussion on this. And yeah, this is coming out today on October 30th. Stay tuned, y'all. Just playing Sparking Zero on my YouTube channel if I haven't already mentioned it for the 10th time or 5th time, whatever. But yeah, if you guys enjoy gaming stuff too, in addition to the podcast, feel free to check it out. Anyways, y'all take care. If you're listening on YouTube, watching on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff if you've been enjoying this good stuff. And of course, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, any platform that you guys are listening on, don't forget to give it a like or a follow or a rating. It's very appreciated. I always love feedback. I love feedback. Give me honest feedback, though. Go in on me, low key. Something I can learn from. You feel me? It's the whole point of the episode. Anyways, y'all take care. Peace.